What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame. Hello. Coming to you live from our studios here. Hello. In the West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Joined by my guy, Big Dave. Bam. BAWL Sports.
In your face.
Our pal producer, Joey Spathis on the controls. He's at Joey Spathis. We are CHGO_Bulls. Our guy, Will Gottlieb, reporting live from the UC tonight. Make sure you're following him too, Will_Gottlieb, for all of his in-game updates. Yes. We will talk to him during postgame.
That's it.
That's the sound a goat makes.
That's it.
That's why he's the MVP. We got Spurs Part 2 on deck tonight, Dave.
Woo!
How we feeling?
Very excited. Very, very excited. Ready to go. Ready to see Wembanyama on the floor at the UC. It's one thing to see him at home. It's another thing when he's the actual attraction. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm ready to see and just see how the fans kind of respond to it as well.
Wembanyama Nenguenababala.
Okay. Chumbawamba.
No, those are the lyrics to the Circle of Life from The Lion King.
Oh.
Nenguenama Nenguenababala.
He is
correct. But
correct.
just throw Wembanyama in there and it sounds the same.
He is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. He is correct.
It's in my head because in my Instagram Reels feed earlier today, there was like some like artist who makes these beautiful murals with all these weird different like props and accessories and things, and it was this giant lion head and all of these other animal creatures like on its ears and in its mane, and they were playing the Circle of Life like along to the reel as it was, one of those like fast forward art reveals.
That sounds
also
cool.
like Circle of Life is just in my head like half the time regardless, because it's a banger.
It's a banger. Shout out Elton John. It is a banger, sir.
All right, so before we get to Wemby and what the Spurs have been up to since we beat them,
thank you, Fish,
all the way back on December 8th.
Appreciate you, friend.
For that elusive 4-game winning streak. That was cool.
Yes, it was.
Wanted to take a deeper dive into this stretch of the last. It's officially been a 10-game sample size after our win last night, where the Bulls are 7-3.
Oh,
and I wanted to look at this team's first 19 games.
Break the brain.
And then this past 10 games and see just how different they are statistically.
Break it.
I texted you last night, Big Dave, after we had gotten home from postgame when I started to dive into some of these stats, and I was like, dude, broke my brain.
That's really what he did.
Broke my brain.
Broke his brain.
But I think Bulls fans are wondering right now, like, what is this new iteration of this team?
Yeah.
Is it sustainable? Is it for real? Is it fool's gold?
Yeah. And
is it all just because Zach LaVine's not playing, or like there have to be other elements to it, right?
I think there's a little bit of all that in there. You know what I mean? But I think it's sustainable. I really do.
So, I know Bulls fans on Twitter over the last handful of games have started to like point to this team's offensive and defensive ratings, their net rating. Like look at this. This is real. Yeah. Which, by the way, over the last 10 games, the Bulls have the 12th best offense, 11th best defense, and 9th best net rating in the NBA. Net rating plus 4.6. They are top 10 net rate team over the last 10 games. Wow. Broken brain.
Wow.
Then if you look even closer at the 4 factors offensively, which is, effective field goal percentage, free throw attempt rate, turnover rate, and offensive rebounding percentage.
Okay.
Those offensive 4 factors. The Bulls' first 19 games of the season, they were 29th in effective field goal percentage. 0.228 free throw attempt rate, 24th. They, even when they were losing, were one of the best teams in the league at protecting the ball, right? So even in the first 19 games when they started 5-14, they were second in the NBA.
It was literally the only thing they did well.
Minimizing those turnovers, 12.1 turnover percentage.
I remember it, yeah.
And for all the talk in the offseason and training camp about putting an emphasis on offensive rebounding to create additional possessions for this offense that was struggling last season, they only ranked 21st in the NBA in offensive rebounding percentage. So there it is. Other than protecting the basketball, the 4 factors in those first 19 games, dog shit. Mm-hmm. The past 10 games, those same 4 stats, 4 factors, their effective field goal percentage has increased to 54.5%.
Wow.
A 11 spot jump in NBA rankings from 29th to 18th.
That's a hell of a leap.
Their free throw attempt rate has increased from 0.228 to 0.241, 24th to 18th. Their turnover percentage has actually dipped a little bit. like it looks like they've taken a bigger fall, second to eighth, just because other teams around the league are doing a better job protecting the ball. If you look, the figures are nearly identical, 12.1, 12.5.
Right.
So not a huge drop off there. But then, and this is the one that I texted you about last night.
Yeah.
Over the last 10 games, the Bulls are the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA.
Wow.
34 offensive rebounding percentage, number one.
That is wild. Joey, can you put that back up for a second, please? Because I wanted to see something. So the turnover rate, I also feel like, to your point, you're right. And the way they're playing defense throughout the league has changed all that.
Yeah.
I also think it's because the Bulls are running more. And they're moving much faster at a so much faster pace and rhythm, within their offense that they turn it over a little bit quicker. We've seen Alex Caruso be a lot more loose with the ball during this time.
We saw it last night.
Yeah.
They had, I think, 14 or 15 turnovers last night because they were trying to play quickly.
10 in the first half.
Against that Lakers team that's big and kind of slow.
Exactly. Yeah, they were trying to run those guys. And I have no problem with that because you don't remember those turnovers because you forget about it as soon as the ball comes out of the net.
Right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're forgetting about the turnovers. They're ready to do something else. So those are wild numbers. So you're right.
The fact that we have seen this stylistic change in their offense with an increase in pace of play and an increase in ball movement, both of those things you assume lead to a higher likelihood of turnovers.
Yes.
As opposed to one player playing a lot of ISO ball and playing a slower pace.
Correct.
So they have changed that part of their offense while minimizing the increase in turnover rate,
yes,
which is impressive. And then you look at what they've built around that, hitting shots, getting to the free throw line more, and absolutely attacking the offensive glass. And it has turned into this version of the Bulls offense over the past 10 games that it's like, looks like a real offense.
Yeah, and it's, again, if you're going to be number one in offensive rebounding, it's not just one guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's crashing the board doing that. So I think it starts with Andre Drummond, obviously, because he's going to be tipping it to himself all day long. So it starts with him. But other guys I look at are like Ayo Dosunmu. He is an awesome offensive rebounder. He has done a really great job of, as I keep saying, playing the game within the game. And he will get key offensive rebounds and create for himself out of those offensive rebounds and hit the shot. Like, it's been really good watching him do that. Or also, Dalen Terry, honestly, is one of the things he does well is rebound. And I've seen him battling in there also for offensive rebounds and things like that. So I find that so much more interesting, Matt, because they're not a huge team. They're not a big team at all. So for them to be first in offensive rebounding, that's showing you my favorite thing ever, which is effort. That is the only way you can do that.
We saw not only Caruso, because you expect that. Before he got hurt, Torrey Craig was doing it, crashing the offensive glass.
Yes.
We've seen Ayo and Pat crashing the offensive glass in this recent stretch of games where they've been playing better. It is truly been a team effort, and it's nice to see.
It feels like a lot of long rebounds, coincides with more three-point volume, but last night it felt like they were just every long rebound. They were swooping in, Caruso, Ayo, whoever. It's just like they're just 50-50 balls they're coming up with.
That's a good point, Joe, and that makes it even more crazy when you think about it because in the same span of time, the same span of 10 games that the Bulls have gone from the 21st offensive rebounding team to the first offensive rebounding team, they have also significantly increased their field goal efficiency.
Yes.
So they're hitting way more of their shots and also somehow getting way more offensive rebounds. Those two things really don't make sense when you put them side by side.
Yes.
The more misses, the more opportunities for offensive rebounds.
Correct.
The Bulls are increasing their hit rate and increasing their offensive rebounding.
Yeah, they're outworking these other teams. And you saw that. I think the Lakers were the best example of that. They really outworked them, and the Lakers are an older team, so they just wanted to run them out the gym. So that's what you saw. So the turnovers are going to increase because of that. But they couldn't stop them from running, and then they couldn't stop them on the boards because all you got is Anthony Davis. And because LeBron is going to get a couple rebounds, but he ain't about to go battle nobody for that, okay? It's just not his MO. So it's just a team thing, man, and that's awesome. Like, really, I that just gets me so excited. And I saw Jamie Andy mention Vooch as well. Vooch is definitely a part of that too. I've seen him battle on the offensive rebound as well, and then make the proper outlet pass back to the three-point line so the guard can reset. Coby White usually can reset the offense and start over again.
Right.
So he's done a good job of that too. So it's just been a team thing for them. And when you start talking more about those team elements, immediately I'll start thinking about coaching, and you got to give those kind of guys that kind of credit, because you're not just getting the ball, like Matt said, you're increasing your field goal efficiency as well. So you're not just getting it and not knowing what to do with it. You're getting it back, resetting and scoring. Yes. Like that takes coaching and plays, you know what I'm saying, along with the effort that you're putting out there, man. So it's just all clicking, Matt. Like, that's really the best way I can say it. It's just all clicking for the Bulls.
And to take it a step further, this is where I went next when I was doing a little deeper dive into their stats in this last 10 games.
Okay.
Because it's two things that I am always obsessed with when it comes to the Bulls and wanting a real NBA offense.
Okay.
3-point shooting.
Yes.
And team assists.
Yes.
And we have seen a bump in both categories in this recent stretch of games where you're like, wow. And not only just Coby White individually raising this team's 3-point shooting floor, because some of it is that.
Oh, for sure.
But everyone else around him also knocking down their shots. And this significant increase where we're like, wow, another game with 30 team assists, a game with 27. When they beat the Spurs, we'll take a look at in a second, 27 assists. And so I wanted to see just how much of a jump those were.
Okay.
So I looked at 3-point percentage of field goal attempts that are beyond the 3-point line, percentage of 3-point makes that are assisted, and then overall, as sort of a back end to that, just total percentage of total field goals made, whether it's 2s or 3s that are assisted.
Yeah.
So here you go. First 19 games, Bulls 5-14. 3-point percentage, just shy of 35%, 22nd in the NBA.
Yeah.
Percentage of their field goal attempts that came beyond the arc, 37.2, middle of the pack, 17%, or 17th in the NBA.
Not bad.
Percentage of their 3-point makes that are assisted, 81.7%, which sounds like a high number, actually 20th in the NBA.
Okay.
And then overall made field goals, percentage of which were assisted, dead last.
Ooh.
55, nearly 65%.
Tough.
Only a little over half of their entire made field goal collection was assisted. And then you look to the right at the last 10 games.
Wow.
Their 3-point percentage has jumped to nearly 42, best in the NBA over the past 10 games. Percentage of field goal attempts from behind the arc has basically stayed the same.
Yeah.
They've fallen a few spots, but if you look at the figures, 37.2, 36.9. We're talking about a dip in 0.3 percentage points.
Correct.
But here we go. Percentage of their 3-point makes that are assisted, a nearly 10% jump to above 90.
Wow.
That has jumped them to 5th in the NBA in that span.
Wow.
And then similarly, total field goal makes assisted, a jump from dead last to at least respectably middle of the pack, 15th at just over 62%.
Wow. Yes, you're right, Matt.
You're hitting more threes, and I have to assume that there's a correlation of getting better looks at threes and the fact that they are assisted because the ball is moving.
You're right. That's some brain-breaking stuff. That was the one I was interested in seeing, was the 3-pointers made that are assisted, because we know for a fact the ball was not moving early on. It just wasn't. It was not moving around. Now we see DeMar DeRozan, where he has games where he also, in addition to the points, he has 7 rebounds and 9 assists. 7 rebounds, 8 assists. 7 rebounds, 11 assists.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that over and over. Coby White flirting with triple-doubles often. We've seen that. Wow. That is a serious jump in percentage. Forget jump, that's a leap in percentage of 3-pointers made. That means the ball is moving around the horn and everybody's touching it, because it's not just you to you and shoot. It's you, shoot. You, shoot. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's touching the basketball. Wow. That's showing they're really playing together as a team, as a unit. And they've said as much, that we feel like we're playing for each other.
Right.
We're playing for that next man. They've said this recently. So, and the numbers are reflecting. Like, I like when it's just not lip service.
Yeah.
You're actually showing me that, yes, you are playing for the next man, and yes, you are playing for the other guy on the team. That kind of shows you right there, because those are serious leaps in numbers, man.
Michael in the comments said, love it. Keep knocking down these threes, Bulls. Spooky Kitty saying, I just hope it stays like this.
Please.
And similarly, Ross saying, this is definitely impressive. Important to keep in mind the difference in samples. So, yeah, so the first half
Y'all love stepping
is
on
like
shit.
19 games. And then second half, 10 games. So you're talking about 2/3, 1/3 as far as, the essentially 30-game sample size split between the first 2/3 back. And then that's why I think some people in the comments are like, I hope it stays this way. I hope we keep this up.
I get it.
You maybe expect some regression to the Bulls can't shoot this hot. Coby White can't shoot 50% from the three-point line forever. Yeah. We've already seen in the last couple of games, I think he was like 2 or 3 for 3. He was 3 for 6 last night, but the game before that he was 2 for 7.
2 for 7, yes.
They're shooting 41.9% from 3 in this stretch of 10 games. You don't often see NBA teams shoot above 40% as a team from 3. Like if you manage that, it's impressive. But for this stretch, they're doing it.
It's what it is. You are what the numbers say you are right here in this instance. So I'm rolling with that. You're right. I think it's going to, even out, obviously. Like you said, nobody's going to stay that hot at that kind of level. But over a 10-game stretch, that's still a nice long stretch. And I know there's a difference between the 19 and the 10, but I guarantee you if he had just did the 10 games, the numbers are still going to be putrid on this end. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't going to change and be like, oh, well, see, it was the same. No, bro, they were ass those 10 games too. So there's a difference, and we just hope it continues, obviously. But we understand there will be a come down on it. It just doesn't want it to be a fall. And that's all we're saying. Like I don't want it to just, that. You just understand it's going to go down level. You stay at the level you're at. But they're really enjoying playing basketball right now, man.
Right.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Our guy Fish said, you expect the shooting to cool off, but cooling down from 50% is not bad.
Not bad at all.
Exactly.
Like we're going 50 to 40? Oh, no.
I mean.
Oh, no.
It is just impressive to see those numbers. And you're like, a jump from 80% of your threes being assisted to 90% of your threes being assisted doesn't sound like a huge leap.
Oh, that's a leap.
But when you see the product on the floor and you're like, actually, we've gotten way more examples recently of an additional pass, a swing pass, a driving kick pass to an open shooter who takes and makes a shot in rhythm. And you're like, wow.
Yeah. And
that's something we did not see for the first 20 games of this season.
And that's why I don't expect it to have that dramatic of a fall because, again, it's not just somebody getting hot.
Right.
This is their actual scheme that they're running. Obviously, teams are going to catch up with this. They're going to get more tape on this, and they're going to defend it differently. Obviously, that is going to occur. I'm just saying when this is your scheme and this is how you're playing it, it's going to tend to even out.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to General Patton, who's got these guys shooting like this, because when you even it out, that means it's not going to be a fall. I have no problem with even. I have a problem with the fall.
Right.
And so as long as it's not the fall, Matt, I think they'll be just fine.
And the fact that it is not that they are taking more threes.
Right.
And thus making more threes in this stretch. They have been shooting about 37% of their total field goal attempts from behind the three-point line all season long.
Yeah.
It was the only number that was the same in those splits was percentage of field goal attempted behind the three-point line.
Yeah.
They're getting better looks because of the offense they're playing, and thus they are making more.
Nothing feels forced.
All right, so that was cool. And
that was cool.
I was trying to figure out how much of this I want to start believing is real.
Aha!
And a 10-game sample size is small. But I feel like the first big enough sample size where you can look at a trend and be like, what are the real trends that are going on here?
Seriously.
And the Bulls have been jumping up the NBA in a lot of offensive stats.
Trend, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's take our quick break. Then we'll come back and take a look at Bulls Spurs on deck tonight.
Wemby.
While we're doing that, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you're watching along on YouTube. Appreciate you for hanging out. Shout out to J2 Amir, who also reminded us again for the how did he phrase it? His comment was earlier. Let's not forget to consensually caress that thumbs up button.
Oh,
that's right.
That's right.
Tonight's pregame brought to you guys by Circus Sportsbook, who of course have that tight money line split and their low hold model. almost always you will see minus 110 odds on all their game spreads, all of their point total over-under spreads, because they want to keep the value in your pocket. None of this minus 115 or minus 120 for no good reason nonsense.
Yeah.
Which is why they encourage you to not only download and try their Circa Sports Illinois app, but try downloading and using any of the other apps that are out there. We know you got options. They're confident that you're going to find the best odds.
That's right.
More often than not, right there at Circa. Right there. They also know, without a doubt, that none of their competitors will beat them on customer service.
Zero.
Real people serving you in real time, made up of human organs and not robots. Beeper. Download that Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout for their various events, watch parties, and tailgates as well. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Oh, beer. Drink it. Okay. It's awesome. It's delicious.
Don't got to tell me twice.
You got that right. And do it responsibly. He is over 21. Make sure you are too if you're going to do this, ladies and gentlemen.
Over 21.
He's earned it. He's earned it.
Joey's got to be careful.
Yeah, got to be a little careful. A little bit. He'll still get the card pulled every once in a while. You know what I mean? We got a little bit.
Joey, do you get carded regularly?
No, sometimes. Depends where.
Yeah.
Depends what the situation is. What?
I got some questions. I got some questions.
He does rock a pretty mean 5 o'clock shadow.
When he said depends on the situation, I'm like, what Joey be in some
situations. Depends on the situation. Depends where you are.
See, that's what I mean.
Depends who you're with.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I look like, okay, what are we talking
out
about?
In line to get into one of the clubs with the other youths.
Oh, wow. Let's move on. Here, the CHGO is supported by the Goose Island Beer Company. Give me the honk, Joey. Just for Matt hanging out with the youths. The CHGO beer since 1988. That has been the Jordan year, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you know the roster. The 312 Wheat Ale, the full pocket Pilsner, which Matt told me in the text he would bring when he comes on the bus.
That's true.
And, of course, he's bringing that delicious beer from the Beer Hug family. Which one is it?
I got the Neon Beer Hug tonight.
Nothing wrong with that.
7% IPA. Delicious!
Delicious. Joey prefers the juicy. Nothing wrong with that as well. And, of course, Oktoberfest beer. It's here. It's delicious. Enjoy it all through this winter time, ladies and gentlemen. So grab that ultra-fresh exclusive beer at the Goose Island Original Brew House from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. The Goose Island Beer Company is Chicago's beer, the true taste of Chicago.
All right, so shifting gears to Bulls Spurs tonight. Pretty quick injury update for both teams. Caruso and Patrick Williams, who had been dealing with an ankle and a calf respectively for the last week or so, both removed entirely from the injury report.
Oh.
So other than Lonzo, often who knows where, and Zach still doing his rehab, and then now also Torrey Craig sadly being added to the long-term injury list. Sadly. Other than that, Bulls have a clean injury report coming in tonight.
Okay.
Spurs, meanwhile, they've had a couple of questionable players, including Wemby, who's been dealing with an ankle himself.
Yeah.
Wemby got the green light tonight. He is in the starting lineup, along with Devin Vassell, illness, and Keldon Johnson. I think maybe a knee, can't remember. They were both on the injury report as well. They are both active in that starting lineup, along with Malachi Branham and Jeremy Sohan. So there's your starting five for San Antone. Speaking of Wemby, he was hanging out with a fellow number 1 overall pick, but a different draft.
Oh.
Did you see these pictures?
I did see these pictures.
These are hilarious. Joe, can we see these Wemby with Blackhawks already superstar phenom Connor Bedard hanging out together earlier today? I don't know.
Wow.
I mean,
that is a large person.
Tell me you are a number 1 overall draft pick in 2 different American sports.
First of all, the jersey looks taller than Connor Bedard. My goodness.
That Wemby jersey is a nightgown of Connor Bedard.
and Wemby, and the jersey in his is a dish rag.
Right, yeah.
For him, man. Wow. First of all, both 2 incredible players and 2 really good people, honestly, from what we've seen so far. These 2 really well-adjusted young people, something Matt and I were not at the age that they were.
Oh, God, no.
So it is impressive to see them like this, man. But Yeah, that's
a lot of
wild to see.
expectation on your shoulders
Yeah,
to not only
tons.
deliver, but expectation to deliver in the media,
Correct.
being a public figure.
Correct.
Seems like Bedard and Wemby have both handled it pretty
And
darn
doing
well
it
so far.
internationally as well.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously Wemby is not from here. So
Right,
doing
yeah.
it everywhere is important.
Can you put those pictures up again, Joe? The one in the chairs, I think, is my favorite.
That's the one? Okay,
because
tell me
it's
why.
like they're two of the same chair,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
Wemby's feet are dragging on the ground, and his torso is well elevated above Bedard's, and then you see Bedard's feet and his legs, and you know what? Honestly, you know what it reminded me of? You remember a few years back in like the post Jimmy ugly rebuilding years,
Okay.
when the Bulls had that social media recurring gag. I think it was like Snack Time with Billy or something. They found a cute little kid to do like interviews with Bulls players.
Yes.
And they would do them at the Advocate Center, and they would have both this cute little kid and some Bulls players sit in the same little person chair.
Yes.
And so it was like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old sitting and talking to like Robin Lopez in the same chairs.
I remember
looked
that.
ridiculous.
I remember
right?
that. I do remember that.
Right?
Those were
I
adorable.
swear, I think it was called like Snack Time with Billy
Yes,
or something.
He would give them. It
And
was the
a
most
cute little kid.
adorable thing. Of
So
all
freaking
time.
cute. It was like kids say the darndest
like
things,
snacks,
right?
right.
But it was just him talking to various Bulls players.
I like oranges.
To me,
Yeah.
It was the cutest.
It looks like Wemby is talking to a child.
Yes.
Is Bedard a Make-A-Wish winner? Like, what is going on here?
What you got, Joe?
it looks like a math problem to me, like a word problem,
Go
a
on.
trigonometry problem
Go on.
specifically, or like something you would either in algebra or astronomy.
Okay.
So I took the liberty of making this something like this. Connor is standing 42 feet away from Wemby. Your line of sight is 5 feet from the ground. If you measure the elevation to the top of the Wemby to be 43, how tall is the Wemby? See, and it's,
Wow.
you know, the tan
Joe.
with the x equals, you know,
tan
proportion.
Tan. I tan.
43.
I do not remember any of how this math works.
No.
My God,
Well,
school
that's
was so
the
long ago.
hypotenuse
Well,
up
this is the
here.
X plus 5.
Hypotenuse, I remember.
Yes.
And
43-degree angle right there. Okay.
it's a tan because you're solving maybe because of the right. This is SOHCAHTOA something. It's like
Sohcahtoa. I
right?
remember that phrase.
because you're solving from the sine and the cos. I don't know exactly, but
No,
something.
keep going.
Wow. No, dude, you're
I'm
crushing
kind of
it.
cooking over here.
This is more than I
going,
remember
keep going.
from middle school and high school math.
but this
your
is
thing.
sort of what it reminded me of when you have him standing next to this. Like it literally, it looks like a cartoon.
Let me ask you this, Joe.
Yes,
Because your height, I believe you're 5'9".
sure.
So would you rather be Connor Bedard's height, which is 5'10", or would you
He's
rather
5'10"?
Yes.
God, he looks like he's 5'5" in those pictures with Wemby.
So would you rather be 5'10", or would you rather be 7'5"?
Oh, God.
Here's the thing. I think just for normal life, I would rather be 5'10".
Okay.
But if you're 7'5", check the percentages. You have like a pretty, like a solid shot of like being like if you're 7'5",
Yeah.
You're playing.
I mean, like, dude,
you're
you're a
doing
millionaire.
something. You're
Sean
doing-
Bradley.
you're a millionaire.
Sean
You're
Bradley had a
doing
pretty long
something-
NBA
Yeah.
career despite having no
Yeah.
discernible basketball skills.
Correct.
Look at the
'Cause he was 7'6".
number.
Right.
I'm gonna pull up this. There's some crazy statistic about people who are above 7 foot. Like so I'll probably go with 7 feet.
Okay. All right. That's
Because
why I
I'm gonna
asked.
try and
That's why I
parlay.
asked.
I'm gonna try and parlay being 7 feet into getting the last spot on somebody's
Yeah,
bench.
you're gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah.
If you're 7'5", you're a millionaire, dog. Taco
Which-
Fall is the best example.
I guess if then you are also putting with that assumption millionaire and 7'5", maybe your travel accommodations are not worrying about sitting in coach on airplanes because
No, you're never in
even
coach.
as someone who's 6'4",
Yeah.
like leg room is an issue.
Paramount.
Adding another foot to the height that I am
I understand.
makes me want to lean towards 5'10". But at the same time, like I say that knowing that I look down on people shorter than me all the time and be like, you poor bastards. I love being as tall as I am.
Something wrong with him. It's really something wrong. But yeah, I like being tall. It's fun. But 7'5", damn. But I think I'd
Could
take.
you imagine being a foot taller than you are?
I think I'd take it. No, I can't. But I think I'd take it because I know the money that comes with it. I know immediately the money that's going to come with it. You're right. Connor Bedard will probably live, a normal, regular life. Everything is kind of made for somebody who's 5'10". Shoe sizes, you know what I mean? All those things he can indulge in. But 7'5", everything has to be kind of specially made for you, including the bed you sleep in, including the things you shower in. Like, it has to be bigger, so which means money has to be put in your pocket because somebody's coming to get you when you're 7'5". They're coming to get you, all right? You're going to play on somebody's team, and you're going to make some money. So I think, yeah, give me 7'5". I want to see a 7'5" Joey Spathis. Like, with that heart and that determination, like, Joey Spathis will either play 10 years or he will be done in one. One or the other. There's no in between. There's no in between, man, because he goes hard. He's going to go hard, man.
That's true.
He's going to be diving on the floor and not realizing 7'5" people can't do that.
No.
Bubble wrap me.
What'd you say?
Bubble wrap me.
Yeah,
Give me
you're gonna have to, man.
treatment.
Which is the genius of Luke Cornett, who just figured out if I can get out on the court and do this when guys are taking threes.
He bought himself 2 more years in the NBA just by doing that.
Truly.
He really did. He bought 2 more years, man. Again, millionaire.
Gio in the comments said the NBA needs to raise the height of the rim until Wemby retires and then drop it back. When you see him performing some of these like pick and roll actions and some of these dunks, some of these rim rolls, you're like, what?
Listen.
It's like it's a grown adult playing on a little Tykes hoop.
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
The first thing the Spurs should do when next season is go get a point guard. It is the first thing because
Dude, can you imagine Tony Parker playing with Wemby?
That's what I'm saying. The amount of alley-oops, there should be nothing less than 15 alley-oops thrown to this man a game. How he had a play where they just showed him cut to the rim and nobody throwing the ball. He just went up and he dunked on nothing because he was there. He was nobody throwing the ball. Throw him the ball. Don't do it tonight, but throw this man the ball, man. Like 15 times a game. He should have an easy 30 points.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be hard.
So Wemby on the season, a bit larger of a sample size since the last time we saw him, averaging 19 points a game. Hasn't quite gotten it going from behind the 3-point line yet, shooting just 28%. But 11 boards, so he's averaging basically a 20 and 10 kind of double-double on the season.
Not bad at
also,
all.
nearly 3 assists per game, a steal and a half per game, 3 blocks per game.
Ugh, should be 12.
I mean, seriously, it could. I feel like it could easily be 6.
Yeah.
The Suns as a team, the Spurs as a team, meanwhile, are still the Spurs. Credit to them, and also credit to the Lakers for allowing the Spurs to kick that nasty losing streak.
Yeah.
But since getting that elusive win, have dropped their last 2 games to the Pelicans and Bucks, allowing in those 2 losses let me do some quick math, grand total of 278 points in 2 games.
Okay.
So they're not great. Their defense is not great. Here's the funny part. Their offense is even worse than their defense.
Is it?
So, hey, Bulls, this new version of you that looks like a competent basketball team, go take care of business tonight.
Please handle your BI. It's right there for you.
Is this the first time all season that the Bulls have had possibly a trap game?
Oh.
You know that they're favored.
Ooh, they are.
They're at home. Second night of a back-to-back.
After feeling good.
Trap game.
Man, just rooting for the wrong things.
It would be funny to see.
No, it would not. It'd be funny to see at all.
It would suck to see.
It would suck ass to see, all right?
By the way, though, Wemby in that game against the Bulls back on December 8th,
Yeah.
21 points, 20 boards, and I think he had 6 blocks.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty good. Joey, first basket?
I will not be betting.
Will not be.
Okay.
He's abstaining from first basket tonight.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Not tonight. 7-5 guy for the Spurs. Tipping.
Can't help yourself.
The Spurs offense sucks. Patrick Williams.
Hey, there we go.
And also, just a quick update. But on the Jazz Pistons game, because the Pistons are 24 games they've lost in a row. This is their best opportunity to win.
They were favored coming in tonight because the Jazz are sitting everybody.
At the half, Jazz up 64-58.
64-58?
Yes.
Okay, well,
they're right there.
They're within striking distance.
Chris Dunn, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists.
Chris Dunn. How many fouls? He's fouled out already, I assume.
I don't see. No, he is not fouled out
at halftime.
He is not fouled out. He's played 17 minutes, man. He's not fouled out. He's in there like swimwear.
I've seen Chris Dunn foul out in 17 minutes.
Well,
You say those things like they're mutually exclusive.
I can't argue these statements. Like, these are true. But 64-58, Utah is up. And, yeah, we'll see if they can pull it off, man.
Come on, Pistons.
If Patrick Williams does not hit the first bucket tonight, I will not bet on the first bucket for at least the rest of the calendar year.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
All right.
So that's what, like 9 days, 10
Yeah,
days?
right. You know what I mean?
Potentially more, though.
It's a good
For him, that's a lot.
yeah. It's always good to show self-restraint. That's it. We are 5 minutes past 7 o'clock. Tip-off right around the corner. We will see you for post-game.
Yes.
On your way out of pregame. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that thumb.
Thank you.
Joey needs him. He wants him.
Gotta have him.
Make sure you're following our guy, Will the Goat Gottlieb, along his in-game reporting, Will_Gottlieb.
Yes.
Big Dave Bow, BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Pack. Our final producer is Joey.
That's
Joey
him.
Spathis. We'll see y'all for post-game. Enjoy the game. Go. I almost said go Spurs.
Oh, my God.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls. Get away.
Peace.
Go Bulls. Enjoy you. See you for the post game. Peace out. My God.